moving on into the respiratory system, we're going to go ahead and open up his thoracic cavity. Let's see, make sure we do this in the approved way. Most anterior portion of the abdominal incision, that was up here. Incision started the region of the diaphragm. Cut up the sternum towards the head. So here's the sternum here. Sternum is the breastbone. And scalpel makes short work of the sternum and the bones of the ribs. So we're going to go ahead and crack open the abdominal cavity. Alright, so here you can see this is the diaphragm muscle here, which again, as I said, diaphragm and the intercostal muscles, I believe, are what's going to help with the breathing. Here we can see the rat's heart, and again, a lot of things surrounded by mesentery and fluid. You can see the lungs in this guy are not super big. The heart is fairly large compared. Oops, I got a little cut in the heart. That would have killed it immediately. But you can see the lobes of the lungs here. There's 3 lobes on the right lung and 2 lobes on the left lung. 1 fewer on the left side because it has to make room for the heart. So here is the heart. And we see that the heart is covered with blood vessels that are nourishing the cardiac muscle. Remember, the heart is made up of a second, different kind of muscle from skeletal muscle. A third type of muscle is smooth muscle, which is what we find in places like the intestines. But we're looking for things such as the superior and inferior vena cava, which should be in blue, which bring blood from the body back into the heart. Blood comes in from the vena cava superior, meaning it goes up to the head, and the inferior, meaning it comes down from the rest of the body into the right atrium. The right atrium pumps the blood through the, right atrium is tricuspid. There's a tricuspid valve which pumps the blood into the right ventricle, atrium, then ventricle. The right ventricle is going to pump the blood through the pulmonary artery into the lungs, which is where it's going to become oxygenated. So deoxygenated blood comes from the vena cava into the right side of the heart. Then it's going to come back from the pulmonary vein into the left atrium. And it's going to go through a bicuspid valve into the the left ventricle. And in the left ventricle, the blood is going to get pumped up into the aorta, which maybe we can see the aorta in there. Hopefully, the aorta kind of leads to the top of the heart. And through the aortic arch, the aorta feeds the freshly oxygenated blood out to the rest of the arteries and through the capillaries to feed and nourish the whole body with oxygen. So how do I remember that? Well, I remember the valves because of the mnemonic device LabRat. The left atrium is bicuspid, right atrium is tricuspid. Isn't that convenient? LabRat, not LabRab. What else are we looking for? Looking for things like the external jugular vein. Veins are in blue. So the jugular veins are going to go up in through the throat up to help feed and nourish the brain. Superior and inferior vena cava. Heart, the aortic arch is going to be on top of the heart. If you can see that or not. And the diaphragm, again, is this muscle down here, which creates that negative pressure. As that expands, it's going to pull down on the whole thoracic cavity, and as it does, the lungs are going to fill with air. And as it contracts, that's going to enable the rat to exhale. Okay, so I'll take a pause there. Come back in a minute.